cinema. Like, it feels really fun when you're watching it, but you're always getting more than just you watch, right? Like, it's helping us shape our ideas, if you can call them that, or indoctrinate us into certain ways of thinking. But with all of the things that we can complain about, it also brings with it beauty, empathy, a way to travel the world, see the world, to connect with people, to put yourself in other people's shoes. To me, it's why I wanted to make movies to begin with. Like, you feel that kind of transformative experience. And the fact that that's easily shareable and accessible now in a way it's never been before is pretty remarkable. Hi, I'm Ted Hope, here from the United States on the official jury. What I love about festival season that happens every year is invariably there will be those artists who do that thing that is outside of my knowledge and experience. It's for Lucille Hadjihalivovich for Earwig. And I've seen a lot of movies that is outside the realm of my imagination. And they tell something or capture something in a new and different way. And that's super exciting.
Venez voir la réalité dans la grande illusion.
This movie, The Grand Illusion, I saw something that told of history, that captured unique human emotion on a grand scale with subtlety, literary qualities. And I was like, wow. I saw something like I'd only really at that point in time thought of movies as entertainment. And I saw something else. I didn't have the courage to say, like, that's where I want to go and that's what I want to be. But I still like saying that. I see myself in that theater looking and experiencing everything that I felt at that time. It's still a deep feeling. And that question of how do we get that memorable, indelible, eternal cinematic element within a movie so that those folks who are just coming of age or those folks who think they've seen it all can have that thing. Like, I can see Grand Illusion playing in front of me right now, easily, and it moves me emotionally. Like, that's our job. How do we do that? How do we keep doing that? When Bach or Beethoven did their variations, they had 32 techniques, essentially, of how to take a mediocre waltz and make it magnificent. I found that when I developed a script, or when I was on set, or in the edit room, and I was like, why is this not working? How could we make this like really hit one of those moments of indelible, eternal, cinema? And I like to have that role and to be able to access it, because it's hard, to be the spark, to say, like, let's not settle. We can take it further. It's kind of curious, like, having my professional career be right at kind of the start of the main American independent wave, and having that carry me into, where I worked at Amazon for over 5 years, into the kind of a new technology studio system, and seeing the different things that pop. Our business of film has shifted tremendously. Really simply, it moved from being a revenue-based, i.e. profit-based, single-title enterprise, to being one that isn't based on the bottom line. It's based on acquiring customers, building your audience, which is a portfolio-based, right, business. But the difference is the technology that we have, global streaming, allows us to identify who the participants are, who the users, the customers, the audience is. And to acquire them, we have to cover their needs. So as the business of film becomes one that's truly based on building global audiences, you have to shift the perspective of who gets to tell those stories, how they tell those stories, and who stars in those stories. So I think that the nature, what will happen over the next, say, 10, 15 years, is instead of being a cinema that has been predominantly dominated by white men, right, that will shift and it will balance out. Those scales will be tipped so that it really is reflective of the world we live in, both in terms of who watches, who gets to tell, and who gets to be in it. And that will change the language, change the literacy, change what we love in the process. Because, you go back pre-pandemic, and your most cinephilic friends were the ones that might say, oh, I've seen a series in a language other than my own. I don't know anyone that hasn't now. Everyone has been able to sample global entertainment now and has had a positive experience. And that will lead to more and more and more and more, and that will lead to a greater diversity. So in the end, what a lot of people will say, oh, I feel the death of cinema. I can also say, like, yeah, and I feel the rebirth of cinema at the same time. Do exactly what you love and get it specific. That specificity becomes universal. Like, that was an early lesson for me in the film business. I got to work with Ang Lee, and I made a film that nobody wanted, right? Because they said, no one will buy this movie. It's gay, it's Chinese, it feels like a film from the 40s. And when we sold it, and we asked the buyers what they liked about it, they said, oh, because it's gay, Chinese, and feels like a film like the 40s. And the experts all said, oh, that won't work. And so when people said, how do I make a film that is successful? I was like, make it in Chinese, make it in Mandarin. But it was like specific to the culture, and people really responded to it. And I think that's always the good advice, like, be true to yourself and get as close to that self. Beware, it's all a grand illusion, but